Well, thanks for doing this, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Likewise.
So I watched this movie last night, bringing back Detroit. I like it. The city needs rebuilding, and you're doing it.
Yeah. Detroit's a beautiful place. It's my hometown, so.
What was the biggest difference you noticed going back? Because I hear it's on the mend, right? Things are coming back.
It is. I've actually been out here a year or so when I was still living there when we shot that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They're coming back, and they have a good film incentive. Actually, they're trying to get rid of it now, which would be a bummer if they did. But yeah, we got the film incentive, and just the whole atmosphere of shooting in Detroit is it's beautiful.
Yeah, it adds a nice grittiness to it too.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, I thought so. So tell me, so this thing is based on your life, but not really, kind of. You gotta do things to make it a Hollywood movie,
A Hollywood
right?
movie.
You
Yeah,
gotta
you put a little bit of Hollywood in there.
So when did you realize my life should be a movie?
You know, I would tell people different stories because I started stripping when I was 19 and got caught up in that for a little bit and used that as a segue to go into the acting. So I started taking acting classes, and that was always my passion. And I think the stripping and the performing kind of opened that door for me to afford acting classes and to, get over the stage fright. I was talking to this director and screenwriter, and I was telling him about my life, and he's like, "You should write a movie." And I thought, I never wrote anything, And I'd hear that along the way because of these crazy stories I had. So I went back home, and this was in Florida at the time. So I went home and just started writing, like, things that happened to me and my family and close friends. So that's why my character in the movie, he's a stripper, and a lot of that stuff you see, 95% of it I did, experienced.
I saw you talking on a red carpet about it being like cathartic and therapeutic to write this thing, to get out. I mean, I'm writing a script right now that kind of also has some real aspects in it.
Okay.
And I'm noticing it's very therapeutic to relive those moments, but put them in, give them your own spin and kind of like let them go that way. Was it like that for you?
Yeah, it was. A lot of times, I didn't sleep, and I think you'd probably realize this too, is your subconscious will just open up and you just start pouring stuff out. And that's how it was for me with this character, because so many, I don't want to give anything away, there were so many parallels between myself and the character growing up in Detroit, struggling for money, compromising yourself, and the things I would do for money just because I was brought up in a, not a privileged home, And
what was it like working with Scott? Like, what did he bring to the project? At least, let's start at the script and move into production.
Oh man, he's super talented. I had the rough draft done, and I was stuck. I'm like, this needs something more. So I Googled script writers in Los Angeles. I was living in Detroit at the time, and I found him, and we started Skyping. And with the risque nature and all that of the script, it took a certain person to understand the subject matter. And he got it. He understood it, and then he's like, okay, let me take a stab at it. So he'd come back with these great one-liners and all, and I'm like, okay, he's not offended. He was brought up Catholic, I was brought up Catholic, and you have the whole stripping and stuff. So not everyone's gonna take to that, and it takes a certain person. So he understood it, and he got it right away. So he's coming back with these one-liners, and I'm like, this is brilliant. So he finished co-writing, and I was like, you know what? I need a director. And he's like, well, let me direct it. I said, okay. So I went back, talked to my executive producer, and we hit it off and had such a good rapport. I was like, okay, let's do this. So brought him on to direct, and then when casting came, it was great because he had such a thorough background in casting, and he just totally helped open my eyes, because I had certain characters I thought of a certain way, because when I was living that lifestyle, dancers looked a certain way and this and that. And he's like, well, let's just do it a little bit different, Let's not have fake boobs and fake lips and stuff like that for some of these females. So Scott brought a whole bunch of elements. He did all the score.
Oh, really?
All the music you hear. We had a lot of Detroit actors contribute music. And all those cool riffs you hear at the beginning and all the score, that was Scott.
I hear Edward Furlong, I'm seeing on the internet, the TMZ, says he was supposed to be in this movie and then gets arrested like a day before he's supposed to start shooting. So what happens? What do you do in that situation?
You know, we had a backup plan. Thank God, Matt Lockwood. We explained to him we hit it off when we were in Detroit when we were casting. Me and Matt had a good 15-minute audition and hit it off great. Sammy Sheik, who plays DJ, did 2 movies with Edward Furlong and was like, check this guy out. So we met up with Eddie. He came down to the studio in LA, read the script, loved it, and signed to come on. 2 days, actually the day he was supposed to fly in, he got arrested. And I was at the gym working out with my executive producer, get a phone call, and they said, Edward just got arrested at the airport. Now, mind you, we're supposed to start shooting like tomorrow, you know. And I was devastated. You know, I was like, what the hell are we going to do? So thank God Matt Lockwood was on standby. He was doing his homework. He had great notes. And we called him up and said, hey, you have to go through like insurance and get physicals and stuff. So like, want to get a physical tomorrow, get the insurance going, and come on to play Bobby. And he was down, he was excited. And he came in on a day's notice and killed it.
Yeah.
And killed it.
There was one thing I want to talk about too, is the male prostitution angle kind of a little bit. You're a little familiar with this. This is kind of what the movie deals with. Magic Mike kind of takes it in a different direction and brought it to the mainstream, the male stripping thing. Your movie takes it in a little bit of a different direction. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, it was like, there was like 18 guys, and it'd be a club full of like 500 women. And they get wild. They were just as wild as men, or maybe more wild when they get drunk. So there would be, it wasn't a common occurrence. Too bad, but the women would ask, you know, how much for sex. And you know, sometimes we'd take him up on that offer.
So Sammy's part of the movie. He just like American Sniper, the biggest movie of last year, right?
Yeah.
And what was it like working with him? I mean, he's like on the rise to stardom now, I think, at this point.
Yeah. And when I wrote Misled, I met up with Sammy out here, and I gave him the script and $200. I wanted to make sure you read it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I got a role for you. I think you'll like it. Read this. You know, of course he didn't want to take the money, but I was like, no, just take it. You know,
So you get things done here. Okay, taking notes. All right.
Yeah. So he read the script and he's like, I love it. This is great. I'm not playing a terrorist. You know, he's playing a pimp, I guess you would call it.
Yeah.
A pimp of sorts. And he loved the character. So I'm excited. I got Sammy on board. You know, we work together. He's a great actor. And then he gets Lone Survivor with Mark Wahlberg. And so he takes his break from Lone Survivor and comes to Detroit to do Misled and just crushed it. That's why he has a beard. You see him with the beard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're like, you can't shave it, you know?
Right.
So he stuck with it. We're like, we'll make it work,
Yeah,
right?
of course. Oh, I know what I wanted to do.
Okay.
I don't know what you can say about this. Batman versus Superman. I mean, this is the biggest movie everyone's going to be talking about the next couple of years. You're in it.
Yeah.
From as far as I know.
Yeah.
I'm sure you signed some sort of NDA that you're not allowed to talk about it all, but I'm going to throw it at you anyway. What can you tell me that you've done?
I'm a male dancer. Me and Batman go around doing bachelorette parties.
Oh, yeah.
Me, Batman, and Superman.
You dressed as what, like the Joker or something? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I got the Joker outfit, and then we go around Detroit doing bachelorette parties. It's like a prequel to Misled.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, yeah. No, it was actually it was great. I am limited on what I can say. I was actually out here. It's funny. Moved to LA, and then I've been back to Detroit. I don't know how many times to
Oh,
work.
they shot it out there too? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it was shot in Detroit. My agent called me, like, hey, audition for this movie. It's a Warner Brothers movie. I'm like, okay. And then I got the call. It was Batman. So it was great. I got to go back home, work on that. And yeah, I really can't say anything about it. But it's a blessing. I guess we'll find out in a year.
Yeah.
It's a ways away, but yeah.
So April 9th, Crest Theater here in LA, the big premiere. You just had one in Detroit.
Yeah.
Where else can people see it if they're not in LA?
I'm working on going to different cities and doing screenings in the bigger cities and even some of the smaller ones. So we had one in Detroit last month. We're doing LA, like you said, Crest on April 9th. And I got a couple leads on distribution, and I'm not jumping in the first offer. Of course, you never want to do that. Mm-hmm. So this is the year we're going to release it, VOD, hit some theaters, and get it out there.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to see it.
Thanks.
Thanks for doing this.
Thank you, my man.
All
Appreciate
right.
it.